Hello students, today we will be discussing about Industrial Financial Corporation of India. As we have already discussed, IFCI is one of the financial institution which is supporting the new entrepreneurs by providing capital. So IFCI, if you talk about IFCI, this was set up by the Government of India under IFCI Act in July 1948. Since July 1st, 1993, it has been included under Companies Act 1956. IFCI provides financial assistance to the industrial sector in the form of rupee and foreign currency loans. The special feature or the special service provided by IFCI is it is providing the loans not only in the form of rupees but also in terms of foreign currency, that is called as foreign currency loans, and underwriting, subscription to shares and debentures, and purchase of equipment, procurement, leasing, merchant banking facilities. These are the other services provided by IFCI. So here we already know about what do you mean by underwriting. In the case of under subscription, the underwriter promises to buy the shares from the issuing company. So here IFCI is also providing that service called underwriting, subscription to shares, and purchase of equipment purchase of equipment, procurement, and all the leasing, merchant banking. These facilities are provided by IFCI to the entrepreneurs. And financial resources of IFCI includes share capital, bonds and debentures, other borrowings from RBI, IDBI, foreign loans, and borrowings from government. These are the sources of income for the IFCI, that is share capital, bonds and debentures issue, and borrowing from RBI and IDBI, and also borrowing the foreign loans from government. And the roles and functions of IFCI are as follows. IFCI provides financial assistance to those companies which are incorporated and registered in India and conduct business in the manufacturing, processing of goods, shipping, mining or hotel industry, power and electricity, which are incorporated only in India, incorporated and registered only in India. It also extends assistance to the public sector industries, public and private and joint sectors. Assistance is provided in the form of loans, long-term loans, both in rupees and foreign currency, and by subscribing to equity shares, preference shares and debentures. The special feature of IFCI is what? It is providing the loans in terms of rupees and foreign currency, and also it is providing the financial assistance to the companies which are incorporated and registered only in India. And next bank is LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India. LIC of India was set up under the Act of LIC 1956 as the wholly owned corporation of India. After the nationalization of life insurance industry, it was taken over by the government from the private players. The primary objective of LIC is to do business and mobilize the funds to provide social security to the individuals, rurals and urban group. The committee, due to reforms in the insurance sector, have suggested that foreign companies should be allowed to conduct life insurance business in the form of joint venture with the Indian companies. They should conduct a business in the form of joint venture, not individually. In the investment policy of LIC, about 75% of the funds have to be invested in government securities, that is central and state government, and including government guarantee marketable securities in the form of shares, bonds and debentures. The amount whatever they pull from the policy holders, that amount should be reinvested by the LIC. That is 75% of the funds should be invested only in government securities. Why? Because there will be low risk in government securities and in the form of shares and bonds and debentures, because the amount, if they are investing in private sector, there is a chance of uncertainty and there is a chance of risk and losses. That's why in the investment policy of LIC, all the investment pooled by the insurance policy holders should be invested in government securities, either it is central or state government. LIC of India extends loans for improvement of socially oriented sectors, providing infrastructure facilities like housing, electricity, water supply. Financial assistance is provided to the corporates in the form of term loans and subscription to shares and debentures. And the next bank is UTI. UTI stands for Unit Trust of India. This UTI Bank, the country's third largest private lender, it is now Axis. It is called as Axis Bank now. They have changed the name to UTI, which was created by an Act of Parliament in the year 1964. UTI Bank was established in 1994 as the first new generation private sector bank of the country that marked the beginning of large scale liberalization of the Indian economy. Now, UTI's functions are: UTI mobilizes the savings of small investors and channelizes them into business or corporate investments. UTI provides assistance by granting term loans, underwriting and subscription of shares and debentures. The outlay of Axis Bank total assets is rupees 6.91 trillion in 2018. Number of employees are 59,600. This data is related to 2018. And number of locations 3,703 branches. Net income rupees 276 crores. Mainly the finance was intended for developing new projects and expansion and modernization of business units and meeting the working capital requirements of industrial units. So here UTI is focusing mainly on financing for developing new projects and expansion and modernization of business units and meeting the working capital requirements of industrial units. This is the function of UTI Bank. And the next bank is NABARD, the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. We all know this. This bank is promoting credit facilities to agriculture, small scale industries, cotton and village industries, handicrafts and other rural craft industries. We know that National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, this bank is mainly meant for the people who are developing the business in rural areas, backward areas, and handicraft business. If they are running the handicraft business and they are having agriculture, small scale industries, these businesses will get financial assistance by NABARD. NABARD came into existence after passing a bill in the Parliament in July 12, 1982. Functions of NABARD: it is undertaking the agriculture including activities of RBI. The assets and liabilities of the agriculture credit funds were transferred to NABARD to provide loan facilities to the rural institution. This is the main objective of NABARD, that is to provide loans to those rural institutions. Here the main objective of NABARD is for development and promotion and expansion of rural agriculture or rural business, small scale industries. So that kind of thing the NABARD will take care. It is a mediator between government and RBI. It provides foreign assistance by mediating FDI in agriculture and rural development activities. NABARD is also promoting FDI, foreign direct investment, like foreign trade is also taking place in agriculture sector. That means export and import of agriculture goods and services. So NABARD is providing foreign assistance by mediating FDI. FDI means foreign direct investment. That is nothing but you are investing in foreign countries in agriculture sector. And here export and import of agriculture products and services also comes under foreign direct investment. Refinances the credit amount issued to agricultural department, small scale industries, village industries, handicrafts and so on. Refinances means already if they have given the loans and if anyone want top up kind of thing or interim loans, that refinancing is also been issued to the agricultural department, village industries by NABARD. It provides assistance in bringing improvement and development in the production and marketing operations. So here the complete NABARD is taking care of agriculture and providing assistance in bringing improvement and development in the production and marketing operations of agriculture, also involving foreign trade in agriculture sector. So just like other banks, NABARD is providing total financial support to the rural areas, agriculture, small scale industries, handicrafts and village industries. So next one is State Finance Corporation of India, SFC. State Finance Corporation of India was set up in order to provide financial assistance only to small and medium-sized industries. It was initiated through the SFC Act, which was passed by the Parliament on September 28, 1951, and it is extending term loans for the purchase of land, building, plant and machinery, prerequisites and other assets, and granting loans and advances to the industries for a period of 20 years, encouraging the new and professionally qualified women entrepreneurs to start the new projects, act as agent of all the central and state governments like IDBI, IFCI for grant of loans, bonds, subscription, help in rehabilitation of sick units which are already being financed by the Delhi Financial Corporation, DFC. So here SFC is also providing the rehabilitation, means regrowth of the sick units, so those who got losses and they have closed their businesses due to non-performance, NPA, due to non-performing of assets or any reason. If any business got damaged or losses are totally closed, that is rehabilitation is done for that kind of businesses by the SFC by providing refinance and again helping them in their growth, to help in the development and expansion of industry by the rural and urban artisans, extend seed capital assistance under the IDBI scheme, underwriting the issue of shares, bonds, debentures by the industrial units. So these are the few explanations about different banks today I have given regarding like LIC, NABARD, SFC and IFCI. Like this, these are the small explanation about the other financial institutions which are providing the services and loans to the new entrepreneurs.